Hello and welcome to the 8th video of ionic 2 tutorial. Last time we left here, we created a logo, a form, and a create button, and a Facebook and a Google button. So they are all buttons. We have not done anything beyond just placing buttons and forms and a logo. So in this video we will be trying to create form validations. So this is not like a specific ionic tutorial. This will be more like a more like a Angular tutorial where we'll try to import form builder and validators and then validate the form. So we'll get started. So the first thing that I have to do is import form builder and validators validators from Angular slash common. So basically we import this, and then using this we create a form validation object. So we create a public underscore form. So basically we have a form builder object over here. Once we have that, we create a variable for the form. So this is going to hold all our values related to the form. So I'll declare a variable called the registration form, and this is going to be type any, and to this variable uh, registration, this dot registration. Okay, I don't know why this autocomplete is not working. To this form I'm just going to assign a form that I'm going to create, form dot mm, form dot group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a form group. So this form group basically handles an array, so I can define the name of the fields that this particular um, form group has. So it has an email, and which is again having a set of values. The first value is the value that it will have when it loads, so I'm going to give it as a null, because nothing will be pre-populated in this, and I can use the validator of class and then define this as required. Okay, so when I do this, what I'm specifying is that I have a form group, and it has an element called email, and that has a default value of null, and it should be validated as required. So if you don't enter an email address, so it's going to give an error. Actually it's not just validator dot required that is negated. You also have to validate the if it is a proper email ID, but for the time being I'm not going to talk about that. We'll do that in some other video. Now the last thing that I want to have is and password. So again, I'll set this as null, and the validation needed would be validation validators dot required. So I'll paste it over here. Now once this is set, excuse me, once this is set, I'll have to connect this form group with my form. So the way that I'm going to do that is over here. So this registration.html does not have a form. So first I'll create a form, and yeah, and I'll close it. So everything inside till the button is should go under the form. So I'll just paste it over here, which will no, right now everything is under this form. Now the next thing that I have to do is I have to create a binding called ng form model, and then assign it to the value that we declared over here. So this is the form model, so I'll just paste it over here. So basically I just created a binding called ng form model, and it is assigned to the form group that we just declared. Now the next thing that we want to do is create form controls. So the way that you can do that is you can just type in ng control and say that this is an email, and I can just copy this over here from here, and paste it over here and say that this is the password. This is all that you have to do. Now we will see if this works. Now by default, if I don't have anything, you can see that it already showed a red color, which means that this form is not valid. Another thing that now if you're wondering how this error, the color changes, it's actually because we have a class called ng invalid added to the form element. So this rule that you declared over here, this rule is been validated, and if that is not correct, this form element will have an ng invalid class appended to it. ng invalid is already defined by ionic, so it is defined as a red color border, so this will come over here. So if you want to change this color and show some other designs, basically you can do you can rewrite, you can just create this class, and then inside css file, and then you can override this red color. So that is basically what you can do. Now another cool thing that you can do is that you can disable this button if this form is not valid. So the way that we can do that is over here, you can come to the button and then use type in disabled. Okay, there is no double s. Disabled equals registration form dot valid. If this is not valid, then just disable it. So I'll save this and let the page reload, and yeah, so you can see that now the form is disabled. The reason is because this form is not valid. So I'll enter some value over here, and enter some value over here also, and you can see that this the button got activated. So you have to actually put an email validation here. For that you will have to write a provider. That is something which we'll see later on. Yeah, so the next thing is when you hit the subs create an account button, you will have to register. You'll have to call an API and register that. Calling the API and registering that will be done in a later video using Firebase or something like that. For the time being, we'll see how we can get the data and how the form can be submitted. Now over here you have the form. Okay, so this was a mistake. Now here it is supposed to be inside the form that you have to do this. Yeah, now over here you can just write an event handler called submit, and associate bind it to a function. So submit, and we have to write that function inside the controller. So I'll just come over here and write that function. Now to get the values of the form, what we have to do is um, we have to use the registration form dot value will get us the value of the form. So let's see if we can get the value. Okay, so I'll just console.log oops console.log this value, and let's see if we can get the value of the whole form. So let the page refresh, and then we'll try that. Yeah, you can see that I got email and password. Now basically all I have to do is make an API call, save the username and password, and just give a confirmation. The callback will give me that this username and password was successful, and then I'll redirect him or her to the login page, and then they can log in and then access the app. So this is basically what I wanted to cover in this video, a simple form validation. uh, and yeah, that's basically all we have in this video. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video we will be using Firebase, and then we'll be seeing how you can save this data into Firebase. We'll also see how you can log in with Facebook and Google. Yeah, so basically that's it. Thank you for watching this video, and have a great day. Bye.